Hello, Dr. Jen, the Intuitive Phoenix, here to talk to you about that icky bad feeling that you get when you're doing something that is good for you. Maybe you are trying to change an old pattern, or you are really taking the time to listen to your inner voice and respond to your inner voice, and you're getting to know and understand that you're being called or asked, your inner being is being called or asked to take new action or create a new pattern of behavior, like maybe putting yourself as your number one priority. We often take care of others before we take care of ourselves. And yet it is super important that we take care of ourselves first, so that way we have the full resources available not only to us, but to those that we're providing support or help to. This is much better than what we have historically, or a lot of us have historically done, which is take care of everybody else first, and then we're scraping the bottom of the barrel to get anything that's left to then take care of ourselves. So what is that bad feeling that you get when, you finally decide to take a day off, or you finally decide to plan time in your schedule to relax, or to go on vacation because you've been going nonstop? And a number of things can happen. You get sick, you feel miserable, or there's this voice in your head that starts talking to you about, well, you should be doing this instead. Do you really have time to relax? Do you really have time to take a vacation or to take care of you? You should be doing this. Other people are expecting you to follow through on these things. Like, who are you to put yourself first? Well, it is super important that we put ourselves first, if that is the goal that you're working on. And I'm going to share with you some steps that you can take to follow through on those actions, those patterns, those behaviors, those beliefs that are in your highest and best interest, that do support you moving from where you are to where you want to go, to the results that you want to be experiencing, versus repeating these patterns again and again and again. Because what I see happen a lot is people are like, okay, I'm ready. I want to do this. And they're super motivated. And that motivation takes them through a period of a few days, maybe even a few weeks. But then it starts to fall off, and we find ourselves repeating the pattern again. We kind of fall off the track and we get away from it. And it's because of these old thoughts, these old belief patterns that are still operating with this constant dialogue that we should be doing something else, and that this really isn't, taking care of ourselves really isn't the best action for us to take, which is bullshit. It absolutely is the best action to take. We spend so much of our day saying no to ourselves. It's time that we say yes to ourselves, because that is what's loving. That's what's supporting. That is what caring for us is all about. Again, when we do those things, we're better able to provide a service, to take care of others, to do our job, to run our business, whatever the case might be. So one of the first things to be aware of is, one, are you following through on the action that you have decided is the best action for you to take? I'm going to use again the example of taking care of myself. Am I following through on the actions to take care of myself? If you are, great. Give yourself credit for it. If not, then get on it. Get some help, an accountability partner. somebody like me, join my group and get on it. The second thing is be aware of what your mind then starts to tell you. Is it telling you you should be doing something else, or that you have expectations to meet, expectations of somebody else to meet? If that's the case, where is that voice coming from? Now, you often hear, especially in spiritual circle and growth circles, that it may be coming from your inner child. It may be something you learned as an inner child in your childhood. That may be the case. But it also may be your inner patriarch or your inner matriarch. It's this voice that basically we take on. It can come from our parents, our grandparents. It actually can almost sound like somebody that we've met or somebody that we've heard about. And it's this voice that, again, doesn't come from our childhood, but is operating within you. It is part of you. So what is that voice and what are they saying? Now, I bring this up because I had this conversation with a client today, and she uncovered that it was her inner patriarch. And historically, her inner patriarch has been not supportive. It's been, telling her, well, you should be doing this instead, or you got to do that, or why did you do this? Those things aren't important. You can tell yourself they're important, but they're not really important. Do this instead. And what she realized is that voice has been operating every time she takes a step or an action or follows through on something that is the best thing for her. So now that she's aware of it, because she asked herself the question, who's operating here? Who's speaking? She realizes she also has access to an inner patriarch, because that in this case it's this inner masculine that was talking. She has access to an inner patriarch that is loving, that is supportive, that does want her to take care of herself and take actions that support her. He just hasn't been operating in the forefront of her awareness, in the forefront of her mind. So now she's going to take steps to develop a relationship with him. And that's the next step. Once you know who's been operating, if it's an inner child, if it's an inner matriarch or patriarch, if it is, a parent's voice, maybe somebody who's no longer with us, where is that coming from? Because once you identify who that is, then you can take steps to shift it. She's going to take steps to develop a relationship with the loving, supportive inner patriarch. Why is this so important? Because it's you. It's an aspect of you. And it's an aspect that a lot of us needed earlier in our life, or needed at some point in our life, to take care of us, to move us through trauma, tragedy, difficult times. It is often something that we've used to survive at different points in our life. And now the issue is we no longer need, and in most cases want, that voice. As we take care of ourselves, as we heal, as we increase our health and well-being, we no longer need to be operating from that survival mode. And so we have to create these new patterns of belief and behaviors. And that means letting the unsupportive inner patriarch know, like, he's off duty. So she is going to take some time to get to know this loving, supportive inner patriarch. She's going to do it through writing letters, much as if she was getting to know a person. And what's really awesome is it's her getting to know herself at a deeper level. I know this may be a bit, well, it could be new. Maybe you're watching this and thinking, right on, I get this. I'd love to know what you think. Ask your questions, share your comments. I will get back to you as always about that. Let me see if there's something else that I want to say about that. Yes. Okay, so now that she's aware that this inner patriarch has been operating and she wants to develop this relationship with a loving aspect of her inner patriarch, a couple of key points. Don't jump all over the ass, I guess you could say, of the inner patriarch that's been operating. It's you. So if you're all like pissed off and like, stuff it, ignore it, you're attacking it, you're mean to it, you're just being mean to yourself. That's not beneficial. You can very easily say, hey, thank you for what you've taken care of. And now I'm going to seek support from the loving aspect of my inner masculine, my inner patriarch. Again, loving to you, loving to this aspect of you. It's time that we love our whole being, our whole self, not just bits and pieces. And then the key is develop that relationship with a loving, supportive inner patriarch, inner masculine, that aspect of you. Because one, it's you. Two, when we take steps, either in writing, we can have a conversation, much as if we're talking to this aspect of ourselves. When we do that, one, we are putting intention to it. We're also developing neural pathways that it's easier for us to connect to that loving, supportive aspect of ourselves. And what I love about this is when we feel loved, when we feel supported by our whole being, it's expansive. It allows us to step into new opportunities. It allows us to step outside our comfort zone. And it allows us to heal. It expands our ability to love ourselves for who we are entirely. So again, if you're watching this, let me know what you think. Ask your questions, share your comments, and if you'd like help navigating this, I am available. We can get on a call and see what that would look like. Because one of the nice things about working with somebody like myself is we get a bird's eye view. We're not attached. I'm not attached to what the history or what the story's been. All right, it's great connecting with you. I'm sending health and love and ease in your transformation until we do this again. I'll talk to you later. Bye.